What's going on, everybody? We are going to talk today about one of the most dreaded shots in golf. That is hitting off of some really wet, kind of, soft, muddy turf. You get that a lot if you're playing somewhere where the grass goes dormant, or, here in the north when we go play in the fall or the spring. So let's talk about it. It causes a lot of problems, and there's some things we got to think about. What's going on, everybody? Scott Ogun coming at you. We're going to talk about some shots here that are going to help you. We're getting outside. So one of the things we're going to be doing on the channel is really helping you have a game plan for a variety of shots. You've worked on your technique all winter long. Now you have to take that technique and learn to game plan for different scenarios. So we are going to help you do that. So do not miss out on that. Click that subscribe button. Now today we're going to talk about, one of the nastiest shots that you can find is when you get out on the golf course and you kind of get like a bare lie with some wet turf and it's really soft out. That can be a nightmare scenario for people to work with. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So we're here, we're hitting a basic little short game shot. You can see we don't have any targets out yet, so we're going to hit at a head cover out there. So you can see it's just kind of a basic shot. Okay, and the first thing that we need to do when we're going to hit this shot is we need to commit to something. Okay, so what do we need to commit to? Well, we need to commit to, I either need to go high or I need to go low. Okay, and if anything, I might need to go super low. There is no in between on this shot. You have to commit to one or the other, because the two ways that really work to hit this shot need you to commit to a very, very specific ball flight. So first things first, we're going to talk about going high with this shot. Okay, if we want to go high, all right, to hit this shot, what you need to do is you need to realize that the sole of your wedge needs to be what interacts with the ground. So when you look at your wedge, you've got the sole, which is the back part, and you've got the leading edge, which is the front part. Both interact extremely differently with the ground, so we need to make sure we pick which one we're going to do. If we kind of get in between here, we're going to catch turf, that club is going to dig, and we got no chance of getting the ball on the green. Okay, so if I'm going to hit this shot, let's say here I've got a real, ooh, this is real nasty, kind of in a hole here almost, because it's so bare. What we're going to do is, if we're going to hit it high, we got to do a couple of things. One, when I set up, I need to set up with the face open. So I've got to turn the face open. If this is straight ahead, I've got to open it up and then take my grip. The other thing I like to do is I like to weaken my grip. So for me being a right-handed player, I take my lead hand, I'm going to turn it towards the target. Okay. What that does is that promotes the club face staying open throughout the swing. Again, it's all about trying to utilize the back part of the wedge, the sole, also known as the bounce, so that you can get this club to not dig into this soft turf. Because we're going to try to hit it high, we are going to see if we can get the club to get under the ball a little bit, which means it's going to have to hit the turf. So we need that club to not dig. From there, my goal becomes, I need to take turf, but I need to take as little as possible. So what I try to do on these is I try to make a couple practice swings, just like that one, where I'm really barely hitting the turf. Okay, I'm taking some out, but it's very, very little. I'm going to be taking turf out. I'm going to have to swing a little harder than I want. Okay, so I should see this ball come out high. It almost feels like a bunker shot. Maybe not as hard of a swing as a bunker shot, but it's something like that. We're trying to get under the ball, taking out some turf, but we're trying to limit how much turf we're going to take. So let's give it a try. Okay, so I've got face open, weaker grip. I still lean forward. I'm going to still pivot my body. Just try to take as little turf as possible. Okay, got it. You could see I took turf out. Now that ball went a little farther. That's one of the things that you're going to find when you hit this shot is it's going to be a little bit tough how much that grass gives away. So I would rather hit this shot and get the ball to travel onto the surface than have it come up short and have to hit it again. So not bad there. It just kind of went through that grass a little more than I thought. So I caught a little bit more clean, I guess, and that ball took off. But you can see how high it went, and we're able to get the ball onto the green. From this spot, I'm not too upset with that shot. Now, the next thing we can look at then is, like I said, we have another option. We can go low with this shot. Now, when we want to go low, you know, I would do this if I have a ton of room to run it. You know, even here I would do it. I can bounce the ball through this turf, and I might even be able to land the ball on the green and get it to stop. What we do here is we're going to kind of move things a little bit differently. We need to get the club to interact with its leading edge. So we're going to be moving the ball back, which de-lofts. But again, this is where commitment comes in. I see a lot of people say, all right, I'm going to hit it low, but they have the ball like forward in their stance, and they're kind of like mixing setup for a high shot and a low shot. Everything here needs to say we are going to hit this ball low, okay? So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to put the ball way back in my stance, okay? Way back. That makes the hands a little bit ahead. And what's going to happen is when I hit this, this club should dig into the ground. So it should almost hit and stop, which means I need to hit the ball first. So that's why we got to make sure that ball is way back. See how I have it outside of my feet, okay? I can do that. Now I can hit the ball first and go from there. So I'm going to hit this one. We'll see. I might try to land it right on the edge. We'll see how it works as we go. Biggest thing is, can we make some contact with that ball? Okay, carried it a little far, but you can see we have a little bit of a tumbling shot there. Got it on the green, but you can see it's just a shot where I'm just chopping down, sending that ball off low. It's going to release, and again, we can get the ball on the green. I think that's something that from this lie, we're going to really want. And you're going to definitely need a towel to clean up these clubs as you are working on these shots, as you hit them, okay? Now, one other thing we can do if you are not comfortable, and I'm not afraid to say I have done this, you know, if you got a really bad lie and you're not sure what you want to do here, what I would do here is you have an option to roll the ball, especially if you've got kind of thinnish rough. You can get this ball kind of tumbling out. And again, the first goal here is get the ball on the green. So, you know, don't have too much pride if you can't hit some chips and say, you know what, I'm just going to take out my 3-wood or a hybrid and I'm just going to putt it. So all I like to do here is I choke way up. I got one hand basically on the shaft of the club, and I'm going to, feet close together, and I'm literally just going to putt it. You know, something like that. You can see that works out pretty good if you have the right shot to be able to do this. So if you're finding that, hey, it's really tough to make solid contact if I try some of these shots, then I would actually go to this one first if it's available to you. If it's not available, hey, I got to carry some thicker rough, it won't roll through it. All right, then I would try the low one. I think that's going to be a little easier. And then if you've got to go over something, then I would go up to the high one and see how you do it. But the key is you have to commit to what you are going to do to be able to hit this shot. So coming up with your game plan, what would you do in certain scenarios? So when you get out on the golf course, you are not just guessing. That is the biggest key to success. So if you have questions about it, please let me know in the comments. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And as always, click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber already. We have more coming up with game planning shots. That is the secret to getting better on the course. You work on your technique, you do this, but are you prepared for the scenarios? Or are you just guessing when you get out there because you've never thought about what would I do in this situation? So we're going to cover a lot more of that as we're getting outside, getting back on the course. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.